Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Groveland Council on Aging Board of Directors meeting on March 18th, 2026. May I have a motion to open the meeting at 9:33. Thank you.
So moved.
All in favor? Okay, thank you. Okay. Let's go ahead and do introductions. Start with Alyssa.
Alyssa Lee, Director of the Groveland COA.
Georgiana, Board of Directors member.
Deb Stevenson, Board of Directors Treasurer.
Laurel Pahalski, Board of Directors, member. Irene Thomas, Board of Directors, Secretary.
Sharon Hines, Board Chair. Okay. I'm going to ask for a volunteer to read the mission statement. It's on your meeting notice? Yeah.
You can read it.
The mission of the Council on Aging is to advocate for Groveland's older adults, to identify their needs, to develop and implement services to meet their health, economic, social, and cultural needs, to encourage maximum independence, and to improve their quality of life.
Thank you, Deb. All right. Let's do the approval of the meeting minutes for February 18th, 2026.
Here's Linda.
Anybody have
Make the
any?
motion to approve the February 18th meetings minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Actually.
Welcome, Linda. Um, Let's move on to the director's report, please. Alyssa?
Awesome. So, as I mentioned in the email yesterday, it's not a complete report, so the numbers aren't there in regards to participation, but I will send those out as soon as I can by next Monday, if not before. So I started off with a reflection on belonging in community as I read an article that was really all about older adults specifically, but I really think about anybody that asks for help is always, I don't want to be a burden, which I think is even relevant for perhaps topics we'll talk about later today. It really resonated with me because I just hear it so many times throughout my working day. But I think, also with myself is how as a culture we see asking for help as a burden, and clearly that's a systemic thing that we've built up. And I hope that we as a COA can help start reframing that conversation with aging as a whole to be like, we always need help at every stage of our life, and that is what makes us amazing people and friends and family and community, is to know that there are others that can help you, and hopefully it's reciprocal in many different ways. So I thought it was an interesting piece. So appreciate all you do and the help that you give us, and I hope others in our community know that they can ask for help. It's okay. And in one of the survey questions for the community assessment, it was really interesting, and I don't have those exact details here today, but everyone was like, yes, I will help people. But far less people would say I would ask for help. And even less were men that responded saying that they would ask for help. And, it's probably not surprising, again, given our culture, but would love to change that. Yeah.
Consider it a weakness, I think.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be strong.
Well, and so that's what I'm thinking, even the aging independently, we see that and highlight that even ourselves in our mission statement. But, maybe we need to think about what that says,
Independently with help.
Yes. On our own terms, right? Yeah. So that was that. Of course, the big news is that our program coordinator, Elizabeth Troll, abruptly resigned. Her last day was March 16th, with her last working day. She gave notice on the 17th. So that's where we are. I took a look at the program coordinator job description, assuming we want to continue moving forward with posting that. I changed it just ever so slightly in regards to words. For the posting title, I wanted to update it to part-time administrative role. I really clarified, just a couple of words, hoping to make sure, it's structured, routines, systems kind of role, in support of the programs that we have here at the Council on Aging. Again, there wasn't any conversation that we had, so I don't know the reason other than what she stated. But if it was she didn't mention anything specifically about the job that she was leaving. But nonetheless, still always good to take a look at the role. So, any thoughts, questions?
Now, what can we do to help you?
Thank you very much, George. All of you have been very generous in asking. I think, we were provided the luxury to have somebody in the office for me to go to meetings, for Nisha to go to meetings, and we don't necessarily have it now. So one of the things is that both Nisha and I have an off-site meeting on Thursday. So I can put it in an email too, but I think Thursday essentially like 12 to 2 might be helpful to have somebody in the office, again, just so that when people come, they aren't feeling frustrated that no one's here. So I think little things like that would be helpful. Even if and when a number of you have helped in the office before, but you don't have to have all the answers. I think best thing is just a friendly face to be like, they will be back and they will get back to you if you happen not to know the answer. But yeah.
So when you say Thursday, Alyssa, do you mean Thursday tomorrow?
Yes, I mean
Okay.
Thursday tomorrow.
I could do that.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So that's the biggest thing right now. And then once we get this posted, I think pushing out the job posting.
Where,
Yeah.
she has been a recent hire, do you still have, were there any other candidates that you were kind of considering, or did she just?
I feel like from our most recent one, she was the one.
Right.
And it was back in December, which
Right. I mean,
is a
right
little
now.
bit now. Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
But certainly, I mean, we
somebody
can.
that came in like.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I thought there were 3 finalists.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 have been in the position and left for personal reasons. Did the third person contact you and say no longer interested? Am I remembering this correctly or incorrect?
somebody that we had offered the job to.
Not offered, but was
Oh, that had
third
come back.
finalist?
I'm not sure I'm fully following your language.
Do you remember?
Don't.
Okay, maybe I have this blended with another situation. Okay, I wasn't sure.
I mean, certainly I can reach out to everyone again. I would just find it highly unlikely, but you never know.
Yeah, back
Absolutely.
in December.
Yep. Yeah, so certainly this is the full job description. We'll do a summary when we post it online. But it is, again, very much an admin job. There's people element because I do believe that one of the best things we can offer is customer service. And so that in addition to the admin and tech skills, customer service is right up there. It's $20 an hour, 16 hours a week, so part-time, no benefits. I think pay is reasonable for this kind of job, but it's really, I think, the scope is narrow, right? For the person that wants this kind of job. So, yeah. But if you look at the job description, I do have copies here, and you would like to make any suggestions or comments, or if you have any other ideas, more than happy to to listen to them. I can pass. You want to pass it? Any other questions on that one?
Just one other statement.
Yeah.
I think we're very lucky to have both you and Nisha that are constants. So,
Thank you, George. Yeah.
Agreed.
All right. It's not stapled. Next was finance. So I did attach the finance report to this one. We received the reimbursement for the local cultural council, 1,200 back in February. At this point, the formula grant has received 10,000, or in February, we received $10,233. So that's like 3 installments. Normally they do 2 installments. This year, they broke it up they're breaking it up into 4. So the first payment was like half, and then they did small percentages for the next 2, and then now there's a final payment in mid-April of just about $5,000. So that's great news. And then February expenses were just under $2,000, excluding salaries. So there we go. The town-wide budget for FY27, so that is up and online on the town website for anyone to view. I put in here, and I can email this to you as well, the link to the town budget overview in which you can see everything, and there's also a direct link to the COA budget. For the COA budget, which was also mentioned at the select board meeting on Monday, and it will again be presented this Wednesday today at the Finance Committee, staff, programs, or admin staff received essentially a 2.5 increase, which they're calling cost of living increase. The drivers got bumped up $1, so from $17 to $18 an hour, as we had that conversation with our town administrator that, we just want to stay competitive. So increasing it by $17 by 2% wasn't going to get us there. And so, really grateful for that. And then the van maintenance will be moving over to the highway department as well. So that is a huge
The board
support.
meeting last night, excuse me, and they didn't have any questions concerning, our budget.
Yeah.
Which is great. There were a lot of questions about others, but ours sailed through.
Yeah. Yep, so that is happening. And then just a reminder that the town meeting is scheduled for Monday, April 27th, 6:30 at the Bagnell School. Yep.
I just want to mention, I'm skipping back.
Yeah.
I got to meet Dorca yesterday.
Oh.
She's lovely. Yeah, it was on the bottom
Oh,
of the page.
yeah, that was, yes,
So,
thank you. We do have great news in the staffing front that we hired Dorca Fernandez as our Monday, Tuesday van driver. She shadowed this week, Monday, Tuesday. She'll be here next week as well. Yeah, no, so far she's been great. She's been driving, with a driver in the van with her. And yeah, she's been wonderful.
Her smile alone is just welcoming.
Yeah.
Like she just, hi. Just kind of, okay, I'll get on the van. She just seems very warm and
Yeah,
welcoming.
and
I
that
don't
was-
know how she drives.
No, that was absolutely, I think, one of the reasons, and I may mentioned it in the announcement, was that she, in her interview, we didn't lead her there. She came to it on her own, that being a van driver really is an opportunity for a connection, not just a Cole, get on the van and I'll drive you from point A to B. But, she's like, if somebody's on there, I want to talk to them and see how they're doing. So,
Yeah, she was just one of those.
yeah. So, awesome. Thank you for that. Any questions on budget stuff? No? Professional development, I attended an open meeting law and public records training that was hosted by the MCOA. It was great, because I think we've all have signed off on the documents, that we've read the papers, but it was really nice to see a presentation. you know, to get all the nuances and questions answered from people. So, you know, if you're curious about more details, you know, certainly it's online. About the public record law and open meeting law. I did, if you have been watching the select board meetings, there have been conversations about what exactly is, you know, open meeting law and where, how does it pertain to emails and social media and this and that. So I did recommend to the town administrator, you know, the people I watch were pretty great presenters, and so perhaps there might be an opportunity for us to do something like that as a town. Yeah, there were little things like open meeting law. You don't literally have to have the door ajar. They can be shut. It's okay. You know, open meeting or having the door ajar is certainly more welcoming, right? But it's those little things that social media is, you know, open meeting. You can't have a dialogue about, you know, your stance as a committee member, board member on things in that respect. And it's little nuances like that, which I found really interesting. So, yeah. Community partnership. So Our Neighbors Table, I've actually been on the, backing up. First, if you are not already on their email list, Tracy Friedman of Amesbury has been appointed their next executive director. Lindsay had left, I think, maybe in the fall or even before that,
Yeah, when was the,
maybe last spring. I think she might have left last spring. I don't know.
I can't.
She's been gone for a little while. Great, still really great leadership over there. Greg and Amber have been steady hands at the helm, but I'm sure they are super excited to welcome Tracy Friedman as their new executive director. She'll be joining them in mid-April. She is a resident of Amesbury and has a lot of social work, community work experience. So it should be a good time. Separately, ONT has had for a while now the Lower Merrimack Valley Food Coalition. It's about 20 organizations that meet about quarterly in regards to how we can do our jobs better in regards to food distribution and serving our community's needs. Meeting quarterly is 20. It's a lot to organize. So the back in the fall, Greg and Amber, who work at ONT, wanted to organize a steering committee to sort of have leadership of that coalition. So I've been on that, and the next meeting coming up on Thursday is where we're going to present our charter of what exactly we are as a steering committee, our purpose and our goals. And the big goal right now is trying to organize bulk food distribution. So when somebody like Cedars gives ONT, you know, like 50 pallets of hummus, you know, what's the best way to get that out? I don't necessarily see us at the COA taking part in that, just because it is bulk food and our food supply and our the attendees are lower than your standard food pantry. But I still appreciate being on there, one, as a voice for Groveland, and two, to have a voice for older adults as well on there. So it's been great so far, and hopefully we'll continue doing good work. I did notice that the Congregational Church hasn't been on there, so I am hoping to make that happen soon, to come to the coalition meetings with the monthly community meals. You know, there's a resource there if needed. At least being part of the conversation is always welcome, you know. So yeah, it's been a good time so far. Other collaborations, Cider Hill Farm. So we had done a program there last fall. We went apple picking. Other COAs have done similar sort of things. So this year, Cider Hill brought together myself and a few other COAs to sort of streamline the process. They want to just let us do our thing. I think it's a lot of logistics for them to handle before. So they were just really wonderful. Valerie, their head of farm over there, showed us all the spaces that are available for use. Certainly we don't want to double book anything, so there's going to be a short form, but we can just say, hey, I want to go do yoga on this day for, this time. And so it's free of cost. We can bring our own instructors there. We can even bring our own food there because, I had asked, she had come up with some ideas for programming. And one of them was like a tomato tasting. And I was like, well, what are my parameters? Do I have, of course we want to, but do I have to buy tomatoes from you? No, but of course it would be nice, right? And we can provide our own professional to come in and talk about tomatoes. So maybe that's a volunteer in the community or somebody else I find, So she's really giving us a lot of leeway of here's the space, lots to talk about, lots to do. Give us a heads up because she does want to have a touch point. So every time a group does come, somebody from Cider Hill will give a hello and welcome and tell them a little bit about the farm. But then we are off and running on our own. So that was really nice.
I have a question about the space.
Yeah.
Is it in their main building, and how accessible is it? Where is it
So
located?
yeah, so not necessarily indoor space.
Oh, okay.
They do have a private function room, but that didn't really seem like it was something that that's where we actually met, that would be something that we'd want to use. Though, certainly we could always ask if we felt like we wanted to be indoors. I think the whole point was to be on this farm and to enjoy the beauty and so forth. So they have like a little gazebo out front. This year they are expanding seating to be where that pavement is out front. So there will be additional seating there. Of course, the big tent has over 100 places to sit with the picnic tables, and they do have some individual chairs as well. And then they do have another site that they're adding this year out on the field, which is, definitely uneven terrain, but nonetheless flat. And so, it could be possible. So yeah. So, and then she talked about all the various picking opportunities. Like, I had no idea that you didn't have to bend to pick blueberries. She's like, you just pick them off the tree. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. Restrooms are porta potties. There is one that is accessible, a little bit wider and bigger. But they are the porta potty situation. So, and they will have porta potties this year out by the blueberry. So I don't know, again, where that extra park, or I guess that main parking is out near the field. They will have bathrooms out there this year, in addition to the ones near the apple trees in the barn. Yeah, so should be fun. Multi-town trivia. I need to make a flyer, but just a heads up, Merrimack Council on Aging will be hosting multi-town trivia Wednesday, April 22nd. If people would like to attend, I just need to know by April 15th, or really before that. It's a free program, that lunch and trivia. So I know last time we got together maybe 2 years ago, we got together in Groveland once. So could be fun to have a team again. And you get to see the Merrimack Senior Center. Friendly Visitor Program, we are officially up and underway now. So Friendly Visitor Program, if you aren't familiar with it, it's a pretty standard program of many COAs, but essentially it's exactly what it sounds like. So we have a volunteer from the community that, connects with an older adult. not necessarily somebody that can't leave the house. I mean, certainly that may be a possibility, but somebody that is socially isolated and we've talked to and has said, yeah, I'd be interested in the program. So they can do everything, you know, that friends would, that you could play a game, you want to just chat, you want to have a cup of coffee, want to go for a walk. So we got the approval from town administrator via town council, looking over all the documents via list, risk and liability and all that stuff. So we are good to go. We do still have people waiting for a friendly visitor. So if anybody is interested, you know, more than happy to help make that happen. Program feedback survey. Many of you have probably already received one. It's very short. I can pass them around. So this also ties into our goals of just being more consistent and getting feedback. So it should take less. It should take about a minute to complete. I send them out pretty much after most programming just to get feedback on one, if you attended, what you liked, how could we improve, and or if there's any other ideas you have. We also ask if you didn't attend, you know, what kept you from attending, and would you like to see something like this again? So far, the feedback, we've done it on a couple of programs, the Chocolate and Chat and International Women's Day. Chocolate and Chat received all rave reviews. Want more of it. So that was good. International Women's Day also received really great reviews. You know, the overall theme for both of these things was, you know, having the opportunity to connect with others. You know, for Women's Day, it was, you know, to an opportunity to learn. The only feedback for growth that we got in regards to International Women's Day was, I think someone had noted it was hard to hear in the room. And so I think, you know, making note that we should check in, perhaps a little, each speaker check in to make sure people can hear them. There's also notice of handouts, which there were a substantial amount of handouts. So I think maybe that was, again, a communication piece to make sure that people knew that they were there in the back of the room. But overall, I really enjoyed both of those programs. Certainly, if anybody here has feedback, if you didn't fill out the form, more than happy to hear too. All right. Quickly, accessible design guide, again, with our goals. With so many people making, within the COA team, making documents, we really just wanted to, one, make sure that we are creating documents that our community can find clear, readable, accessible, as well as sort of consistency in design. So, you know, little things about where our logo should go, how big should it be, what size should the fonts be, what kind of fonts, and that kind of thing. So I do have a copy of that. If anybody is interested, more than happy to share. That's good.
I just want to compliment the newsletter format. The print is larger than it had been in some of the past newsletter formats. So I think I'm predicting that it's probably easier to read.
Yeah.
And then the consistency of bold text so that people know where to focus. Compliments on the design for that. I think it's very welcoming and readable
Oh, thank
and
you.
understandable, which is another key factor. Understandable.
Absolutely. Well, and appreciate you often editing it
My
as
pleasure.
well. So thank you. Any other questions on that? No. Assistant director report. So she attended. Nisha Burke attended the outreach meeting hosted by MCOA. The topic in February was how to become a SNAP outreach partner. So a SNAP outreach partner means, you know, that that individual, that organization has direct access to the DTA system, and so then you yourself would process those applications. At this time, neither Nisha or I really see that being something that we have the capacity to take on, nor necessarily the need to take on, because again, no need to duplicate services that are already out there. Right now, Pittengill House, ONT, of course, Project Bread, Hotline, are three resources that are readily accessible to people, and we can point them in that direction. She had mentioned, the reimbursement rates. Again, that is nothing that we will take part in, and it does not impact the recipients of SNAP benefits. It is more on the back end of things. Yeah. But yeah, so there's more detail on that. And then she talked about the men's group. We might have talked about it last month because it happened right around the same time we met, but Wingate Residencies came in, and they did a live cooking demonstration, which was awesome to do. The chef was amazing. He used to be the chef over at Spot in Georgetown. Now he's over at Wingate, so pretty great. Pantry, we finally, after the large amount of donations and generosity from the community, that Vito room has been cleared out. And that means it's time to fill it up again. So the Groveland Police Department has offered to host another food drive in May. It looks like we will still be able to use the Vito room for that extra source again, or space again, if needed. ONT has told us and all of their partners that we can use their space. It's just provides some logistical hardships. But if needed, because I know that the Vito room is doing some sort of improvements over the next few months. The timeline's unclear. So if the Vito renovations are happening, we do have another place to go. So, yep. All right. Resources and opportunities. I have a couple of flyers here. So the first one is Reframing Aging. This is put on by the MCOA. So this is all about something you and I have been talking about for a while in regards to ageism, but they are putting it on at a number of COAs throughout the state. The closest one to us is Salem. It's taking place on Tuesday, June 9th. The cost is $20. It does include breakfast, but they are framing it in such a way that they hope that leaders of municipalities will join in on the conversation. So it's not just the COA talking about it. It really is a community conversation. But certainly as COA board members, if you are able to join or know anyone else that would like to join, please let me know as the registration does go through the individual COAs. So I would put in a group reservation. I do see a typo there, but I was thinking May 22nd would work well for an RSVP. Yep. And then the second one is Older Adult Lobby Day, which I think some of you had mentioned at the last board meeting in regards to advocacy. So I thought great timing. They do it every year, but this just came out. Again, there will be lots of groups there, but Older Adult Lobby Day at the Massachusetts State House is May 6th, 11:30 to 2 p.m. It is free for you to attend. If you would like to have a box lunch, I do need to know by April 2nd so we can coordinate registrations. If we're going through the MCOA, they expect it to sort of sell out, but they don't have like a date. So when they're sold out, then they're sold out. So if you know that you want to go, just let me know as soon as you can, and I'll put in that reservation. If you haven't been to a lobby day for any topic before, it's a lot of fun. One, you're with like-minded people, which is awesome, and it's just a really great energy to be around a large group of people like that. But then you also get to make the rounds with your own state legislators and give them a talk and let them see your voice or see your face and hear your voice about how how we really do need their support and what great things we're doing in our community and what more we could do with their support. So, yeah. That is what I got.
So if there were enough people interested in this, in either of these or both of these, would the van be a possibility?
I can look at it. I was looking at it.
Shopping days.
But yeah, Wednesday is shopping day, so that would not be a possibility.
Yeah.
Tuesday might be a potential, but yeah, not the Wednesday one. But carpool. I do.
Use the van.
At the moment, I plan to go. Of course, we make sure that we are staffed accordingly. But yeah, so. And as always, thank you for all that you do and your continuous generosity towards me and to our community. I certainly, truly could not continue to do the work without you. So appreciate all of you checking in and making sure that we have what we need as a team to keep moving forward. So thank you for that. Happy to answer any other questions or thoughts.
Thank you, Alyssa. That was very informative, and, for saying you weren't quite prepared. You
I think
really-
I wasn't mentally prepared and the numbers weren't there, but thank
It
you.
was great.
I mean, this is,
Excuse me. Okay, on to subcommittee updates. Any finance updates? I think we talked about. Okay. Personnel?
Just if you want us to be involved in any way with a new hire for the administrative part-time position.
Yeah, I think I'll definitely connect with you. I think it's always a good idea never to have it be a solo mission. Yeah, we'll continue working on that
Well,
together
you've
if you're
got
up for
a-
it.
I think you've got a very effective method for interviewing now in an objective way.
Hasn't worked yet, but yes.
Well,
Yes, thank you, Irene.
I think it may be more the nature of, no benefits, not that,
No, I get it. And I mean, that's one of the things about this kind of job. It's for the person who needs a job and who needs money. Yeah, I get it.
yeah.
And if you have the skills, like why not apply for a job to fit that need that you have personally at the moment, and if I were in that situation, not saying that anyone in particular has been, but it's low risk, okay, then I'm going to move on if and when something that offers me something more happens. So.
Okay. And nominating?
we need to know by April if those whose terms are expiring are still considering, hang on, they know who they are.
Do you have a list of those, Laurel? I know
Yes.
last meeting, you were going to check.
Yes, we do.
Irene's got them?
Yes, you have it with you, Irene. I left it, thank you. Yes, I left it at home, but I was all coordinated.
Yes, I don't have enough for everybody.
Oh, do you
I don't
need the
think.
whole, I think it's just the people that, I can email that to everybody too, but I know Deb is up, she's reconsidering.
Well, I want to hold on to one, but
I haven't made a decision yet.
No. Strong arm you.
let's see.
That was a guilt.
And who
I know.
else?
So this is not two-sided, but this one is, so
Okay, thank you for,
these can be.
and I had this, so, excuse me.
Or we could go make copies
Sharon's
now.
term ends, so you have to decide whether you are, because you came on, you just did the 1 year, you took over for someone else who left.
Yeah,
So your term ends in June, and Barbara's, and she knows, and Deb's, and that's it. Do you want this? I have this at home. I have this little one, just left it folded on the table. So when I looked at the bylaws, April is when we present, and, anyone who is interested in continuing needs to send a letter to the chair. So Sharon, this is interesting, you're the chair, I guess you send a letter to yourself that you are still interested, if you are, I hope you are. And then we have an election in May, and in May, we decide, yes, whoever, so we're assuming that all three people whose term expires will continue, and then we forward those names to this Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen then approve or give us the charge of being on the board.
Okay.
It's an election on their part.
if
Or if anyone else
other
is
people are interested, what would their,
they would need to write a letter to the chair, who is Sharon Hines, saying that they would be interested in serving on the board.
and what's the date
Yeah.
that has to happen?
We would need it by our next meeting, which is April
15th?
15th. Thank you. And Sharon, I don't know if you, I guess they could bring it here and save it for Sharon. I don't know if you want to give out your email or.
Laurel, I'm sorry, but I can't hear you.
Yeah,
I
my
don't
voice
know.
is- I'm losing my
Yeah,
voice.
if-
I'm sorry.
Maybe if you pull it
Um,
closer,
I
that
mean,
would
can
be
you hear me
great.
now with this better?
So-
Probably not. It's on. I don't know. I just have
They-
no voice.
Okay.
But I was going to say, I don't know if you want to give your email out to people in the public, or how you would want to receive letters of intent from other people who may be interested. Or
Would it be-
send it to care of COA
That's what I was thinking.
with your name, Sharon
Yes.
Hines. Yes.
Yeah,
And it's SHARRON.
yes.
HINES. She's the chairperson of the COA board. Okay,
Perfect.
there,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's all right.
What am I going to do without a voice?
And I think it's the acoustics in here. I don't
No,
always
it's-
hear very
it's,
well,
um,
even though my,
Gradually losing my voice.
My hearing
as
aids
the
are
day
in.
proceeds.
all right. Thank you, Laurel. Any
Yes.
questions from anybody about that? Okay, great. Okay, on to Larry. Give us a Friends of the COA update.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Larry McElhenney. I'm president of the Friends of the Groveland Council on Aging. We are a fundraising group that every penny we raise goes to the support of the Council on Aging. Not the sole support, but we do contribute. We have an ongoing fundraiser that really doesn't stop. It's just a donation opportunity. There was a flyer that went out in this month's newsletter to remind people who had not re-upped that, we appreciate your financial support. A $10 donation allows you to attend and vote in any of our meetings. And it's a good group to belong to. We have a core group that comes and shows up every meeting and shows up to help support our fundraisers. And then there's a broader community of support people who, for maybe they're working and are not able to attend the meetings, do support us financially. So we welcome all the participation and support we get, both from people within the community and people who live outside of Groveland who come and attend our events. So I want to thank everyone. We had last week our corned beef and cribbage fundraiser, which was held at the Village Square Restaurant in Bradford. And I have to say, I was a little worried about how many people, when I thought about it, that people who really love corned beef and cabbage and also really love cribbage, there's a small intersecting group, and then find those people who happen to be available on a Thursday night in March we still had about 30 people, and we had a really good time. There were people who were avid cribbage players who, enjoyed the tournament, and there were people who maybe had learned cribbage but hadn't played a while, and there were also people who were picking up the game and figuring it out as we went along. there were people who went and just enjoyed the dinner and did not play cribbage at all, and they still had a good time. And I want to thank Michelle Eason, who owns and operates the restaurant, and her excellent staff, because they certainly made our time even better. It was just a nice, relaxing evening, and I hope that somebody at home has a little fear of missing out syndrome and maybe says, gee, I wish I had gone, because the good news is Michelle at the end of the night said, this was so much fun, we have to do it again. So we are looking at a date in probably in early fall to have our second tournament. It was just a really good time. And I have to, just acknowledge the fact that as we grow older, it's nice to learn new things. So if you have not learned to play cribbage, it's a fun game to play. And it's a game that you find cribbage players no matter where you travel in the world. So it's a good time. Our next big fundraiser comes up May 2nd. It's our annual town-wide yard sale. It's going to be held, last year we held it on 2 days. We're making it just on the Saturday this year. There will be, by the beginning of April, there will be both online and paper registration forms. On the registration form, we would give your address and a list of possible things that you might have. We'll have a checklist, a drop-down checklist on the form that would indicate, say, if you have children's toys and sporting equipment that you can want to highlight, those kinds of things. Is the Congregational Church also going to be having their?
I have to let them know, the next meeting is March 30th.
Okay.
So I'm going to let them know about it then. I'm sure
Okay.
they will.
All right.
Well, I shouldn't say that.
Um,
I have to ask them.
Right. That, I would assume that they would. We have had a couple of questions as to whether or not the Council on Aging itself is going to have any kind of a yard sale down here at Town Hall parking lot. We're not. But what I'm hoping is that maybe your neighborhood, if you don't have enough for a yard sale, that you can partner up with neighbors. That the fee is, last year was $20. I assume it'll be the same this year. And that does include, we haven't asked, but the Board of Selectmen has granted a waiver of the $10 town yard sale fee. So, as I said, this information will start to come out at the beginning of April, so a couple of weeks away from that. I want to encourage anyone who heard Alyssa's announcement about the trivia contest in, is it Merrimack, at Merrimack? We won the trophy 2 years ago. It was a great, if you have not come to an event and you want to come to something that's a lot of fun, have a free lunch, please join us. I know that there'll be some of the friends there and some of the board members who went to that. It's just a really good time, so I encourage you to join in. I think that's it. Does anybody have any questions? All right, thank you.
Larry, thank you for all the hard work that you put in, and also, excuse me, the volunteers are fantastic, and the public really does support COA, which is great. Thank you. Okay, on to March meeting focus areas, community assessment survey observations.
If we could table that, that would be great. And/or I was, again, I just wasn't able to get to it. My apologies. Something I was going to ask for was if maybe there is anyone that wants to meet to go over and see, potentially if there's any trends that they're seeing and I'm not seeing, it might be worthwhile. So I don't know if there's a small group that wants to go over it with me in addition to just me. And if not, that's okay too. You can let me know. But, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I think that might, I would be interested. Yeah, well, if we know who's interested, we'll find a convenient time.
okay, I would too. Okay. All right,
Oh, I was just gonna, you all did get the document though,
Yes.
right? Were there any feedback so far? Was there any?
I haven't had time.
No, it's
I'm
totally
honest,
okay.
I
It
have
was
not had
very
time to go
dense.
through it in the detail that I
No, no,
would.
no. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, I just wanted to open it
Yeah.
while we was still
No, I
here.
apologize.
I know, I'm in the same
Intentions,
boat. So,
I mean, I would say there were some things that were surprising.
yeah, yeah, okay,
I was surprised to see the answers.
yeah.
Yeah.
The comments, a lot of the comments were, oh, so,
It did take time.
yes.
And I was making, I had a paper copy, so I was able to take notes right on the paper copy, and that helped me to understand and see trends, patterns. Yes.
great. Okay, on to our board goals. Pillars 2 and 3. 2 is sharing information learned from a training, professional development opportunity, or informational resource since July 2025. I know we pretty much all shared at last meeting. Is there anyone today that would like to share anything that they've read or participated in? Linda?
My big thing has been security, and the biggest thing is the scams that are going on for older people. I don't know if any of you have been receiving phone calls. I have received a couple. One of them was my grandson got in a terrible accident. Of course, he was 7 years old at the time. So I said, oh, that's terrible. And then I said, you know what? If he did the crime, he's going to do the time. And I hung up. I thought, what a horrible grandmother.
Love it.
Anyway, the other thing is I've been getting these phone calls. I must get 12 a day of your Medicare has been flagged. We need to now, whatever you don't ever say yes to these people, because Massachusetts is a state where you can change your Medicare or your supplemental or Medicare insurance anytime during the year, not just during October. That's because if someone all of a sudden has a problem and you need more insurance, you can change it. You can make more. Blue Cross told me that if you have the lower one and there's a major thing going on, you can go to the high one. It's no big deal, so you have to be real careful not to say, you know, how are you today, or are you okay? To never say yes. I just answer, yeah, right, yeah. I just say, whatever you say, and they hang up. But the other thing is I read a lot of AARP information about scams for older people, and there's some frightening things. I made copies of everything for everybody. There's websites where you can go on and check all these things, and some of the stuff surprised me. So it was, I even have one for Alyssa if you want it.
Do you have one for Barbara?
So
I'll give one
it's
to
like,
Barbara.
is there another one? My glasses on. You got another one?
One more, yeah, because she's going to give one to Barbara.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There are AI-generated scams going on all the time. Celebrities promoting cures for diabetes or change. Dr. Phil has some. Dr. Oz has done, you can lose your belly fat by drinking this. You can do it by doing this. That's all fake. And a lot of people believe it. Like Kelly Clarkson's another one, Oprah's another one. They do this pink salt trick, which if you drink that kind of salt, you're going to blow up like a balloon. But the phone scams are the ones that are really bad. And if you get one at home, you should report it to the police department as soon as possible and the number they called you from. Most of the time, they're using other people's numbers, something that's not being used. I got a call at my house from my own phone number that something was going on, so it's kind of ridiculous. anyways, they have stuff in the mail, and there's a lot of stuff going on, so I thought this was a good idea to look through all these things and be safe.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Linda. I was just going to note that S&P fraud, so the Medicare protection fraud organization will be at the engagement seminar. So that'll be on Saturday, June 20th. They were there last year as well, so they'll have a table. And then they are coming, I don't have the date top of mind, but we do have something planned in the next newsletter section for May, June to come here and do something. I think they're going to talk specifically about ambulance billing. But again, they are the go-to people for all the Medicare fraud things. So thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Very informative.
I just want to piggyback on that. So we kept getting a call from some company saying, we want to send you a back brace. We want to send you a back brace. So they called about 15 times every time we said, no, no, no. At one point, they said our address, and then they said, is this your address? And we said, yes, darn it. And this has now been delivered, and when I looked carefully at the paperwork that accompanied it, even though we refused every time, I'm thinking saying yes to confirm the address made a difference, because they stopped calling and we got this heavy package. And when I looked at the paperwork, they have charged our insurance for not just a back brace, but a knee brace that they threw in, two other braces. It's just a ridiculous amount of money that they charged our insurance companies, and now we're in the process of trying to get this, saying we refuse it and send it back to them. So hopefully that will work out, but even saying no
No.
more than a dozen times didn't stop them. And just, I guess I learned to never say yes as an answer to any of their questions. Even, confirming, is this your address? That is my address, but I do not want you to send this. Again, repeat as needed. So that was one that
Yeah.
really disappointed me, because we kept refusing it, and then it arrived.
That's just hang up.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
engage.
we did that too, yeah.
I mean,
Biggest
And they
thing is
just kept
call me,
calling.
Can you
Yeah.
hear me? Can you hear me? And I always go, I can hear you.
Yeah.
And they hang up.
You can't
because
say
they
yes,
want you
yeah.
to say yes.
Yeah, so with the S&P fraud coming up, but it's just a good reminder too. I'll make sure to put in the phone number in the next newsletter for people to report that to them, just so they can also be aware of all the new and upcoming things, but also to be able to help you navigate any of those situations you might be in. But also definitely do call the police too and let them know. Yeah.
They have places you can go online and look up all this stuff. I gave you all the addresses. I did call AARP in Washington, got permission to print all this out so I can pass it out. I don't want to
good.
break the law.
Right.
Good move.
Yeah, I got a text, and I cannot remember who it was from, but it really seemed legitimate, and it was something, one of my, whatever, accounts, or I don't know, something, but I thought, I'm going to Google it, and sure enough, it was a scam, but it was like a new one to me, and I don't remember what it was. I wish I could. But yeah, so now we're getting texts besides phone calls, so.
Well, and I was scammed out of quite a bit of money on the computer because I didn't know what to do. And they said, your computer is being taken over, call this number for Apple Care. That's not Apple Care number. I was petrified. I did everything they did. $20,000 later. Yeah. And it was my own stupidity, but they're very, very good at, telling you. I mean, I'm going, no, this doesn't seem right. Ma'am, you know, this is it. They kept changing, like, we're going to connect you to somebody in the FBI, we're going to connect you to this, all different voices. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then when he ever said, yeah, we're going to have somebody come, so you're going to have to sign this, the money that the bank has taken, somebody has taken out of your bank already, is going to a pornography place in China, and we're going to have somebody come and, you and your husband are going to, there'll be somebody at your door tomorrow morning, and you're going to have to verify that you are not child pornographers. And I'm like, oh, I can just see it, little town of Groveland, our names up on the newspaper. It was terrible. It was terrible. It was the entire day on the phone with this man. And, you know, finally I called my husband, and I said, I need to call my husband. I'm not authorized to do all this, you know, alone. I mean, I already gave you 20. Anyway, it's done.
Yeah, I want
survived.
to say it was not stupidity by any means.
No, and now, and I still get these scams, and I don't know off the top of my head, if I had my computer here, I would. There are 3 buttons you press, and it goes away, because I turned the computer off. I press delete.
Control, Alt, Delete.
Thank you. Control, Alt, Delete. If you get anything, and it talks to you, and it, all day long, I couldn't even turn the volume down. My computer was taken over by this voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, I'm still misty. I can't like this about it. So, yeah, they're very, very good. So now I don't do anything. Control, Delete. So, anyway.
That's one of the scams in the list I gave
Yeah,
you.
oh, it's, you know, you can't do a thing. I couldn't even, I turned my computer off, I unplugged, I did everything, turn it on, it's still on there. So, yeah, anyway,
All right, well, thank you. Anyone else want to share?
I shouldn't have shared that, it shows how stupid I
Okay.
am.
Not about the scam. I just want to reiterate what you ladies keep saying. The Groveland Fire Department, I took a fall, and the Groveland Fire Department came, and I had fallen upstairs. My wife was on the phone to 911, and I kept saying, no, I'm fine. I just got to get up. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. And after we got all done this, they took me to the emergency room. The hallway looks like a murder scene. There's blood all over the place, and I want to thank the Groveland Fire Department. They were terrific. My wife was terrific. She's still a wreck, but, you know,
But you're okay.
oh, yes. Well, I got cuts and bruises and, you know, stitches and everything else, but fortunately, I didn't fall down the stairs, you know, and when I hit, I'm all banged up over here, but, you know, my daughter's a nurse in a rehab, and she says, oh, no, sometimes they break the bone here, and you know, have problems with your eyes. I said, no, I just went down like a rock, but they were there, they were terrific, and I kept saying, like, all guys, no, I'm fine, little duct tape across it out, you know, but,
Good.
Great.
You got it.
We're glad you're okay.
Yes.
yeah, oh, me too, you know.
Absolutely. All right, thank you. All right. Let's see. Pillar 3 progress, the welcoming packet.
Well, so the deadline to be done with this at the end of March has come and gone.
Is that the end of March?
Well,
Yeah.
we will not, we most likely will not have it done by the end of March. We are behind schedule, but we are still processing. We're still working on it. It's a goal. It will be met.
It will.
It will.
All right. Okay. All right, thank you. Let's see. Any other comments or questions? If this is a place to say it, I definitely would like to re-up.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Good.
So you know. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to close the meeting at 10:38?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor? Excellent, okay, thank you.
All right.